Yello, I'm Skid, and welcome to episode 2 of Hardspace Shipbreakers. So yeah, as we said last Friday, the plan is to make this a series, or let's play, at least for the time being. We'll see how things go. There's a bunch of stuff that we haven't got to even cover yet, just because of how long it took me to get through. That's my fault for doing a look at as part of the intro to the game, rather than getting into the game and then doing a look at. But I wanted to get that out there because this game is awesome and it deserves more people's attention. Anyway, between last episode and this, I have erased my standard standard file. That's because we have access to the limited file, and I've gone through and got us roughly to the same location that we did do previously. So, as stated last time, Limited only provides you with 30 revives. However, those revives come at half the cost, which is still a non-insignificant amount. It's 750,000, I think it is. But that's what it is. So yeah, let's get cracking. I'll continue the career. Free play just allows you to... I really should have gone through that. I entirely forgot to come back here and go through this, because there are other things here. Free play is what it sounds like. You basically pick a ship, and then you have as long as you like to take it apart. Cutter race is something they added relatively early on, I think. I'd stopped playing by that point, but it's effectively a challenge where you are given a ship and you have to disassemble it and get as much money out of it as possible. I assume there is a time limit on it. Not just how long it is to run the actual challenge, but I think there's still a time limit on, there you go, shift length, 45 minutes. So you have 45 minutes, I assume one shift, to get as much money out of this as possible. So if you want something slightly more competitive, it is there. Anyway, we're going to chill in the career. Because of the semi-random nature of the game.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52. All the team at Lynx would like to wish you a happy and productive day.
So because of the random-esque nature of each ship being generated, we actually found something in one of our ships. Attached on one of the walls was a new poster. Okay, so let's read some emails, because we left basically all of them. So we'll get through the ones we never read. And in fact, there's a bunch of these we never read, so we'll have to get through a whole bunch of them. So we've done certification, let's go hazards, fire. Career progression clearance, hazard level 2. Lynx is committed to ensuring shipbreakers are only exposed to hazard level ships in accordance with their proficiency levels and mean estimate emotional adjustment time should death occur related to these hazards. If you have reached clearance for hazard level 2, you may begin to encounter fire hazards in the form of fuel or flammable objects. Attention, causing Lynx equipment or salvaged goods to be damaged by fire hazards will result in credit deductions, as will damage or destruction of the Lynx of your Lynx spare. Congratulations, you are now qualified to handle electricity hazards during salvage. Due to regulation rollbacks introduced in 2299, Lynx Salvage does not do a preliminary exam of ships to discount potential electrical hazards. We believe our shipbreakers are well suited to handle such dangers, and the long-term time savings are highly beneficial. Electrical components may arc when removed, impacted or damaged, causing other objects to be electrified, including the shipbreaker themselves. This can cause damage to the Lynx spare and Lynx equipment. Caution is advised. We probably should have gone from the unread ones first. Yeah. These are new ships. New ship asset, Mackerel Exolab. Technically used as a deep space research, the Mackerel Exolab is outfitted with a wide range of scientific instrumentation. Extract this fragile equipment carefully and beware of electrical hazards. My predecessor, Ted, incorrectly stated there were frequent electrocutions on board Exolabs. Actually, these electrocutions are still being investigated. Stacy Kapakluck, Marketing Manager. Klein Co. New ship access. Mackerel Heavy Cargo. A robust model to transport heavy industrial goods or hazardous materials. Grapple strength can be increased to improve handling of its heavy structural elements. On behalf of my former colleague Grenda, we apologise for misstating the fuel efficiency of this model. In fact, it's positively adequate. It's positively adequate for the transport needs of many companies. Ted Holliday, Senior Marketing Associate, Kleinco. Kleinco? Klinksco? I'm going to go with Kleinco. New ship access. These were the two that we got originally as Cert 3. Mackerel Station Hopper and Macro Light Cargo. The Kleinco Mackerel is the most common ship model in the colonies. The light cargo model is used for civilian cargo and can contain a wide variety of objects. The Station Hopper transport is outfitted with ad terminals. Electrical safety is advised. Our ships are simply the best. Recent safety reports are wrong. Granda Madison, Junior Marketing Associate, Kleinco. New hab poster available. Customize your living space to boost your mood and increase productivity. Attachment. We can just zoom in. Spares and use. Safeguard your career growth. In 2291, when Lynx rolled out the life-changing Everworks asset replacement program to their employees, we achieved what other companies have not. Making work safer and allowing learning and growth without the risk of permanent death. Emphasis on the permanent death. With a noble profession such as shipbreaking, unplanned death is a natural part of the job. Our shipbreakers have bravely faced the is that faced? Yeah, that is faced. Faced an often arduous challenge and risk of their important work. However, Lynx cares about the well-being and growth of our family. The introduction of Everworks spares, trademark, to replace damaged or destroyed bodies allows you to fail safely, ensuring another day in the yard and another shot at improving your skills. For only a minimal fee, sophisticated monitoring systems in your suit will watch out for excessive bodily harm, triggering generation of a spare upon unfortunate workplace mishap. An array of neural recorders in your helmet transfers your presence seamlessly, to the new spare TM. This process is mostly bearable, and recent advancements have made even removing grief-related downtime let's read that again. This process is mostly bearable, and recent advancements have even removed grief-related downtime, effectively eliminating the need for recovery time between transfers. Get access to our spares technology is simple. Our onboarding procedure includes a collection of your gene or genetic data, safely stored in our secure server. From the moment you join us, you no longer need to worry about expiring before your time. Death is a fresh start. Present transfer protocol has a plus or minus 0.001 margin of error due to solar interference, signal strength, state or subject state of mind at the moment of transfer, and other factors. Over very long periods of time, this may result in identity shift, a medically benign process with minimal impact on a subject's working ability. Salvage goods. Lynx is proud to introduce the all-new salvage goal system to our valued shipbreakers. With performance in mind, salvage goals should help shipbreakers in understanding the expected total values or the expected total value expected from a ship. Established by our fine-tuned salvage assessment algorithm, salvage goals are an incentive that rewards overall progress, yielding additional rewards when reached. These goals provide many goodies to our valued shipbreakers, highly rewarding those who reach all provided salvage goals without destroying salvage. Lynx encourages employees to aim for salvaging as much material as possible on all provided ships in order to maximize the value of the ship provided. Let's just have a drink of my tea. I just realised my microphone is slightly too high. Employee Financial Relief Program. Everything important and good in this world comes with a price. Even privileged persons who join our family to become a shipbreaker come with significant costs. Fortunately, Lynx shoulders the burden of these costs temporarily in order to let you hit the ground running and begin training, stress-free. This cost sharing is handled through our innovative Employee Financial Relief Program. This program covers all essential onboarding costs and fees, including the cost of your training and equipment borrowed from Lynx Salvage. Also included in this fee for the Everworks Assets Replacement Program, which enables safe, unlimited career progression and growth. I've got to read slower. Because I am a recluse and I don't get out much, all the talking I do is to the computer, which isn't much, unless I'm recording something, and even then that's not necessarily much. Which means I can't speak as fast as my brain wants to be able to speak. So if I slow down, I will stop slurring my words and getting them wrong. But it's hard to force yourself to do something when your usual cadence is faster. Through the power of Lynx technology. In return, as your skill and expertise grows, all the value that you earn as a shipbreaker will be automatically deducted from the amount you owe to the financial release program. This ensures that the borrowed amount is paid off as quickly as possible, so you can get on with building yourself a brighter future. Tool Scanner Structural Mode. Structure Mode is pre-installed on every... we already read this, didn't we? We read that one. The Lynx kiosk is your one-stop shop for all shipbreaking needs. It dispenses all the items that any self-respecting shipbreaker wouldn't leave the hub without. At the kiosk, shipbreakers can find the following, courtesy of our affiliate suppliers: oxygen tanks, thruster fuel pills. Oh balls! Did I forget to? It doesn't matter. Medical kits, tool repair kits, suit patch kits, star. Demo charges, Tether cartridges. All of these are available for purchase at market rates and already factor in your 1.7% employee discount, star. Genuine patch repair kits manufactured in... genuine patch repair kits manufactured in Damascus Earth, I think. Damascus Earth. Star, Tuesday only. We only get a discount on Tuesday. Okay. I need to make sure I did do this already, but we should need to check. Yep, we've already unlocked Tethers. Let's get breaking. Cutting, rather. Training. It's going to give us a training ship for Tethers. Yeah, we've already salvaged everything on that ship.
Let me tell you how to use these things. Tethers are more powerful than the beam of your grapple. They're great for moving super heavy salvage. Try it out. Press and hold the secondary input for the grapple to begin placement. Point where you want the salvage to move to, then release the input to create the tether.
So you go boop, and then boop. I missed. There we go. And then you can also do stuff like this.
Great. Now, what if you want to get rid of the tethers you've already placed? There's a cancel command you can send, but take note that it clears all of your tethers. Go ahead and try it now.
Are these actually worth anything? They will eventually make their way down in there. I'm just curious as to know whether or not they're going to actually give us any money. Do I have an unlimited amount of tethers in the minute? Ah, we have unlimited tethers.
Yeah, there you go. Now, you've got unlimited tethers during this training exercise. But after this, when you need more, you'll have to buy them from the kiosk. Let's see how well you can handle them. Try and clear out a bunch of that scrap. You can stack multiple tethers on one object to increase the pull force. You can also chain objects of any size together to move them as a group. I've seen some cutters do incredible things with a daisy chain of tethers.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Is that one in? That's in, that's in, that's in. What am I connecting to?
All right. Well done, Cutter. Like I said, tethers are your friends. Once you get the hang of them, you can get pretty creative on how you use them. Now, when you're ready, let's go back to the hab and continue with the day.
So doing this will be highly inefficient because I think we only start with access to 10 tethers at a time. But if you are pulling something really, really heavy, they are pretty useful. But none of this is worth anything, so...
Applying credits.
It says applying credits, but I don't think they're actually worth anything. They're worth a tiny, tiny amount. No certification points. I'm wondering when the timer's going to hit us.
Good morning, Shipbreaker. Lynx mandates a maximum of 8 hours of sleep. Any extra sleep time will be docked from the next pay cycle.
Ah, it just erased a bunch of my money. That tutorial did. Okay, we didn't get any new messages. We've not got any new cert levels, so let's get started. Ooh, I've never had or disassembled one of them before. So as stated, I played for like 10 to 15 hours when the game first released. No, 10 to 13 hours more like. So the Mackerel I'm very familiar with. Not necessarily all of its variants, but I am very familiar with it. But this is new to me. It's worth a lot, but I imagine it's going to be a bit of a pain to take it apart. I'm sure that has to be wrong, because that's explosion. And I would expect that to be explosive decompression, but... Oh, we get free repair kits if we get up to the higher level certs. That's nice. Yeah.
Cutter, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce you to the rest of the crew in our sector. Sound off, everyone.
Hey, Rook. Name's Luke. I was the worm until you showed up, so thank you. Now I get to do the hazing.
What are you talking about? We don't do that. Welcome aboard. Don't listen to her. I'm Dee Dee.
Oh, Nina. Hey, I'm
Kai! Your mic's still messed up.
How about now?
Better.
Oh, hey, I'm Kaido. Kai.
Mic's still busted, huh?
Oh, yeah, still waiting on the rec to get through.
Heaven forbid they give us functional gear.
I'm sure they're working on it as fast as they can. Cutter, I added you to the sector comms channel. It can get lonely out here. Helps to check in with each other from time to time. All right. Enough chin-wagging. Let's get back to it. Weaver out.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Later, Rook.
So those guys are entirely new to me. I don't know when they added it, but I knew they was adding things like that.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
We didn't quite make it through. Okay, does the thing have thrusters? Is that attached on the inside?
Account credited.
Oh no, we can just rip it off. It's just heavy. Oh no, it's not. It's actually not that heavy. The ship is heavy. I think they're just going to be part of the back. Can't see any cut points on it.
Transferring credit.
Let's get this little bit off. An extra entrance is always welcome, and then we'll have a look what's inside once we've finished clearing out what's on the other side. Same thing again? Yeah. Let's get around to here before we yank it off.
Deposit accepted for processing.
Okay, should make it down. Can't see an auxiliary entrance there. No one there.
Salvage
It's
deposit.
just attached.
Applying credit to account.
Okay. Okay, here's our electrical equipment.
Applying credit.
An electrical buzz bar there. Can we get around over the top? We can. Let's clear out the other other bit over there.
Deposited.
Get this taken off.
Valuable object processed.
There's the lights.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are low.
I should have checked inside the ship to see whether or not we had any oxygen tanks in there. Well, we're already outside and with the front of the ship, so I'm not too worried about being able to make it over to the kiosks.
Object accepted for processing.
Assuming.
Credit deposited.
They're listed as cut points. So we can get the cables off.
reserves are critical.
Welcome to Metatron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So they have changed somewhat how electrical systems appear to work. Shouldn't the front of this ship be detached now? Yeah. Come to me. I want to get the glass off you, but I can't do it while you're still mostly attached to the ship. There we go. Do we have anything on the walls? Not that I'm looking for. Okay, let's get the glass. The glass really isn't worth that much. It's more just a point of pride being able to successfully detangle the glass. It is still worth stuff, and at the minute we don't have the timer active. Shift timer. Damn you! What? How are you still gripping? Let's dispose of that. Oh, not good, not good. I won that glass.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
I imagine it's connected to the bottom side still.
Rewards will be paid.
In spite of it looking like it's not. Oh no, it is still connected to this bit as well. That's a shame. Wasted some perfectly good glass. Having to cut it twice.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited. Material accepted.
There we go. 40,000 for that one piece. Okay. Okay, I need to do a little bit of experimenting with their changes, because that is a cut point. Hey, we have O2 in here. Good to know.
Alright. This is your 5-minute warning, Cutter. 5 minutes left. We were out.
Oh, we do have a shift timer now. The game didn't even warn me about that. I was expecting some kind of tutorial. So I imagine these can't move while they still have that attached. Yeah. Does that free them up? Yeah. can probably get, or I could probably get away with not needing to do all of them. If I actually thought about it. So as long as no, I think we're fine. So long as we're making at least 500,000 per shift, then it's all good.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Raw material deposited. Transferring credits.
A little over 5,000 apiece. Probably depends upon the actual size of it.
Deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Get in there. So if I had paid attention and noticed that the timer was at the top, I forget whether or not we actually need to get back to the hab.
Material deposited. Account credit applied.
Get in there.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
Goes on the barge. How do we release it? We cut it out.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
So because we're on a timer now, we're not going to worry about the little lights. They're not worth enough money to bother trying to collect.
Deposit
Looking like you got about a minute left, Cutter. 1 minute remaining.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account. Processing valuable deposit. Credits transferred.
Okay, so we've not destroyed anything yet, that's good. I've made 3 million. There's still another 6,100,000 on this thing. We have not gained enough merit points for the next certification level though. So was that a 20-minute timer? So yeah, it didn't. I was expecting the game to warn me, but it didn't.
Hello, Shipbreaker. You have 1 incoming transmission waiting.
Hey, Rook. I was thinking our crew should crack some beer sometime. You know, shoot the breeze, fantasize about a debt-free life and all that. Not that that's gonna happen anytime soon. Like, Weaver's been at this for years. 20 maybe? I was just getting kicked out of grade school when he started. Dee Dee sends most of her money home. Goes through Link, of course, with huge transfer fees. And Kaido, well, look, Kai's great. He just hasn't really taken to the work. Lynx calls him a low earner. As for me, I'm trying to get there as fast as I can. I just need enough to get me one of those mining skiffs. You know, for boat running. Still so many rich rocks along the frontier line. Eventually want to hire some friends from back home. Oh, the Airs platforms. Around Mars? Good people. But work's hard to find there. Don't know when that'll be, though. Just when I think I'm earning at a steady clip, there's another fine or fee. This job's fun as hell and all, but I got other plans. Maybe you do too. Anyway, don't want to get a fine for tying up comms? Kidding! That's not a thing. I don't think. Either way, good luck, Rook. Blue out.
Good morning, Shipbreaker. Your allocated shift time will be commencing shortly.
Oh yes, our new poster. And our debt. We're still making a chip away. So long as that number's going down, then everything is fine. Hero Cutter mentioned the word beer. Alright, so we get this sticker just for hearing the word beer. Fair enough, but I'm not a drinker.
How you holding up there, Cutter? Seems like you're getting the knack for it. Trust me, when you get well versed in the art of shipbreaking, it becomes a joy to show up.
Just having a quick look to see what immediate upgrades are going to be available. I would like O2 capacity. And O2 capacity is always good, because a refill refills it all. Suit integrity. Cutting edge. That's actually quite helpful. Long time till we get demo charges. Demo charges were added after I stopped playing. During early access. I should note, I only stopped playing during our early access because I wanted to experience the full game. Am I not continuing the ship? Yes. It's still 6 million on this thing. Ah, so we have a 15-minute shift timer. That means, theoretically, 3 shifts in an episode should do nicely. We disconnected that, we disconnected that. Not enough? No, I'm going to have to take the batteries off. So these little bits here are not really worth enough to, or for the time.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Oh, we took that off, we didn't actually disconnect it. There we go. Okay, I assume... Did we take that off? We have got that. Let's get that downstairs.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Okay, there's another battery there. Now that we've disconnected the batteries, all of this stuff is no longer powered, which means that we can now remove them without fear of being electrocuted. And a lot of the money from this ship is going to be in all of that gear on the inside. Light's still attached. For the sake of expedience.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Deposit accepted for processing. Salvage goal obtained. Additional rewards assigned.
We still have a tube of oxygen on the inside, don't we? Okay. We was working on the bottom. We've got the bottom off. Okay. I should probably... I wonder what's the next safest thing to remove. Should I remove these things next? The power junction box? These things in particular are highly liable to spark. Power junction boxes.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
So one thing it didn't mention, if you do manage to cause one to start sparking and you allow it to come in contact with something else, it will transfer that or the electricity to that, and you may actually destroy both things.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage goal cleared. Rewards allocated.
Warning. Oxygen low. Note that
salvage secured. Applying credit.
Let's just confirm there is an oxygen tank in there. Yes, so we can wait until the last second.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account. Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
warning. Critical oxygen levels detected.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Stabilizing.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Okay, we have 8 minutes. I wonder if we can get to this last 5.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Valuable object accepted for processing.
He's going to yank the whole thing. That's fine. Okay, the front of this is open now, isn't it?
Credits awarded.
Yes. This will help.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Oops.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit. Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
Is somebody trying to talk to me?
All rewards allocated.
Okay, we've hit all the
Salvage
certs.
secured. Applying credit.
Okay, we need to get the roof off this thing. That thing goes into the barge. How do we take it off? How do we take that off safely? Do we have to cut it out? Okay, 6 minutes. So yeah, now that we're on a timer, I want to be making the most use of my day. To which end, I need to pay a little bit more attention to where everything is as the first thing I do at the start of a new ship. And then I can use that to inform me as how I wish to disassemble things. In a time-efficient manner. Gotta keep Lynx happy. We do owe them a ludicrous amount of money.
Fuel levels are low.
Okay, we should have enough time to yeet all of this and then get back to the master jack for fuel. Oh, fuel levels. Okay, no, we can top up our fuel when we go top up our
Credits awarded.
How do we get you out? Oh, it's an air filter.
Cutter, there's 5 minutes remaining in this ship. Get in while the getting's good. Weaver out.
It's these things. Can we not cut that? We can't. That means I have to cut part of the door if I want to get it out. Because it's physically attached to those.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are dropping.
Maybe it'll be enough to get that. Yes, we got it. Need a bit more speed. Brake.
Warning. Oxygen supplies are critical.
Welcome to the
Okay, oxygen.
Oxygen level stabilizing.
2 minutes. Plenty of time.
Raw material accepted. Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Did it break the tethers? It must have done. I can't see one. Damn. Get in there. Did we get it?
Material accepted.
Oh, we accidentally destroyed a door. That's a shame. Oh well, we got most of it. That'll do.
One minute left, Cutter. If you got something cooking, now's the time to plate it and bring it to the table.
That's an interesting way to put it. We're already done. How much did we not get? Less than 100,000. I will more than accept that.
New certification level attained. License level increased.
We are now rank 5. We can buy more equipment. Or buy more upgrades, more accurately.
Hello, Shipbreaker. You have 1 incoming transmission waiting.
Hey, Rook. You ever think about starting your own business out there? You know, be your own boss? I swear, one day, I'll get a decent belt runner and make my own money. Maybe bring my old man along to help sniff out the good rocks. My dream is to tinker with ship designs. Maybe build some machinery to help with heavy-duty mining. Make it safer. If we ever both get out of here, I'd hire you in a heartbeat. If you don't end up coming with me, I hope you get to make your own way out there. Definitely ping me if you do. Blue out.
It's a good question. What do we want to do once we've paid off our debts and made some money?
Hello, Shipbreaker 9346-52. Lynx would like to share the following inspirational message. Some people dream of great salvage, while other people get up every morning and make it happen.
So inspirational. Career progression clearance, hazard level 4. With access to hazard level 4, Lynx Salvage welcomes you into the rank of potentially high earners. The extraction of reactors from ships is one of the most valuable duties of our employees can perform. We expect the utmost care when engaging with this vital reactor setup, the variety There we go. Words, variety of reactor setups you will encounter. Retrieval of an intact reactor is your highest priority during every salvage operation. It is advised to clear a direct path to the barge for the safest extraction. Reactors will become unstable once you remove them from their protective housing, and it can cause severe damage to the surrounding objects. They explode gigantically. They will destroy half of a Mackerel ship. Literally just it will vaporize and turn into worthless components, the back half of the ship, if you remove it and just leave it there. Failure to extract a reactor safely is also a failure to comply with the exceptional performance standards. Please ensure you talk to your supervisor if you consider your ability to safely extract a reactor a risk factor. New ship access. Atlas Scouts. Solar winds at your back, cosmic dusts flying by, the speed of a comet at your fingertips. Meet the Atlas Scout. Purpose engineered for getting away and back in the blink of an eye. Sporting a pair of Starlap's proprietary quasar thrusters, the Scout ensures you are able to cover a lot of ground quickly. Atlas, powerful, dependable, enduring, the foundation of a better world. Starleap Heavy Industries. There we go, we made an actual dent.
I think it's time for you to learn about the motherlode of any ship. The reactor. Most dangerous part of shipbreaking. But you got this. Continue when you're ready, Cutter.
Okay, if this is a tutorial, we'll do it now. If it is not a tutorial, we'll do it next week. But let's nip over to the equipment room. Go to the workstation. So, first thing we want worksuit. No. Well, yeah, we do want this. Because that is kind of helpful. What we actually want is oxygen. Okay, what else do we get? We can increase the range of our cutter. I think let's get range for the grapple. We're not going to have enough for everything at some point, and we will start having to pick and choose. We can eventually get enough for everything. So I do want to keep some in the bank. More Tethers isn't going to be that useful at the minute. We're not really using that many at the moment. Like, if we're already inside the ship, we may as well just push the panels away. Rather than going outside to tether it, because it will be quicker. Unless it's really heavy, in which case, yeah, then use a tether. That's durability rating. It's still at 100% though, it's not started taking damage. Let's get range on the cutter, because that's again nice to have, but it does mean you need to be careful. More speed I'm not really worried about. This is the main thing we want. System scan mode. And everything else can wait. Okay. Is this a tutorial? It is.
I remember my first reactor pull. I was shaking like a leaf. You got less on the line now, but still. Let's try to do this without a critical meltdown. Looks like this ship's reactor's toward the aft, but there are lots of different configurations out in the wild. Okay. We're only focused on one thing right now. Pull the reactor and get it on the barge. As soon as you disconnect the reactor from this ship, it'll start to melt down. So act fast and make sure you have an exit strategy ahead of time.
So it looks like we don't actually have a time constraint at the moment, which is good. I'm not seeing any fuel lines. Let's actually go to systems. There is electrical in here. There are fuel lines, but there's nothing connecting to the reactor, so we should be able to just yank the reactor clean out. This also has a thruster, so I can't just pull the back off. So let's go inside so you can see. Ooh, poster. Everything else can wait. Okay. Oxygen canisters.
Alright. This one's pretty easy. Should just slide out of her coolant casing with a good yank from your grapple. Try to have your extraction fully planned out before disconnecting it from the ship.
So what I'd like to do is just take it straight down. But this has electrical systems. And the battery's alive. So I don't know what that's going to do to that. So let's disable the electrical systems first. Since it has a very specific thing it wants us to do, we'll do the very specific thing it wants us to do. The lights going red is a nice indication that the ship no longer has active power. And like, since we're coming past here, careful, there's a fuel tank over there. Okay. We'll worry about the rest of these later. Let's do what it wants us to do. So, we want an extraction route. That reactor is at the top, the barge is beneath us. So this makes it a real nice simple pull. Get this console out of the way.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Okay.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
So, as the tutorial says, removing a reactor from its plating begins its meltdown sequence. It is imperative that you deposit the reactor in the barge as quickly as possible. When all the meltdown meter depletes, there are catastrophic consequences. So there's impending meltdown, and we'll just yeet it into the barge.
Well, congrats, Cutter. You're certainly picking this stuff up faster than I did back in the day. Okay, I'm gonna leave you to it till you get to the next rank. Until then, remember this. Measure twice, cut once. The Tethers are your friends. Good luck out there, Cutter. We were out.
Ah, balls. We did that in the wrong order. That's a problem. I'm not going to do that one. At least not that way. All of that should be disconnected. Ah, there's a problem. Ah, it still has this attached to the side. I wasn't expecting it to give me a full ship, so this is going to be a little bit longer. We'll only do the one shift on this ship, though. I assume, yeah. You can rip those panels off, but honestly, there's no point. Just eat them in.
Salvage secured.
I won the lamp.
Salvage goal achieved. Rewards allocated.
I think this still has its control panel on the inside of it.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded. Deposit accepted. Process. Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Salvage secured. Applying credit. Valuable object accepted for processing. Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
Okay. Did we get all the fuel?
Salvage registered. Transferring credit.
No. Before we start messing with this, since we
Valuable
done things in the wrong order and we can't get access to... Actually, this should be loose now, shouldn't it? I should be able to yank you off over there. Did I disconnect the lights as that's going through? Not that they're really worth much. But on these smaller ships, every little still helps.
Deposit confirmed. Applying credit. Salvage deposit registered. Account credited. Salvage secured. Account credit applied. deposited.
Okay, so that's power, that's fuel disconnected, so at the very least this thing can't now catch fire. But we can't release it from that. That isn't a cut point.
Applying credits to account.
So that just means that we're going to have to throw this in the barge with this. That's fuel.
Low oxygen reserves.
Wasn't there oxygen in here somewhere? Yeah, got a couple of cans there. Okay. Let's pull this way.
Warning. Oxygen reserves critical. Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Okay. Now that you're out, let's pull you over there. And you can come out the back.
Salvage accepted.
Okay.
Credit applied.
It counts. Suit patch kits. Yeah, they're immediately used, so we may as well save them.
Salvage deposit confirmed.
Why are you acting like there's still power? There's not still power. Power's gone.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Okay, let's get the bottom disconnected. Try not to set any of this stuff on fire.
Deposit. Credits transferred.
You got 5 minutes remaining in your shift, Cutter. 5 minutes. We were out.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Tether supplies dropping.
Down to 4. Tethers are one thing I don't believe you can just find inside a ship.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account. Salvage deposit registered. Account credited. Processing valuable object. Credits awarded. Salvage secured. Applying credits.
Can I? No, these are explicitly pick up stuff.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Well, the next shift is going to be real short. We've almost got everything. Okay. Are you going to behave, Glass?
Credits deposited.
I'd very much appreciate it if you would behave and cut properly this time. I really like the idea of firing this into the thing. That's why. And if I do that with the other one, then what I'm going to end up doing is cutting the console in half.
Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are low.
Deposit accepted. Processing valuable deposit.
Honestly, you know what? Why waste the time? Because we're going to come back to finish this thing off later anyway. And that's not going to take us long. The hab itself will give us oxygen back. So let's just call the shift there.
Warning. Critical oxygen levels detected. Consult.
Yeah, there's still enough there for another shift. We'll only get 1,200,000 out of it. But still, it's a good amount.
New certification level awarded. License upgraded.
And we've made it to Cert 6. That wasn't the plan, but we'll take it.
Hello, Shipbreaker. You have one incoming transmission waiting.
Howdy, Rook. So, this can be, an awkward subject, but you've probably noticed Lynx doesn't take great care of us. Up until maybe 100 years ago, workers like us would sometimes form these groups, called unions, and go toe-to-toe with the company. They'd argue for better wages, safer work, decent hours, that kind of thing. Lynx was actually part of getting rid of them, but some of us are trying to bring them back. I can tell you're a good person, and a hard worker. The company will use you up. It's just built that way. So I thought you might be interested in the Union News Group. There are new messages every couple of days. Read them, don't read them, trash them, whatever. Just keep it on the down low. The others don't know about it. Weaver and Dee are a bit too by the book. Kaido is just too anxious. Poor kid. But I wanted you to have the info. I was glad someone gave it to me when I was new. Okay, spiel over. See you in the yard, Rook. Blew out.
Well, we are assets. We are not people, we are considered assets, as far as Lynx is concerned.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52.
Well, no additional message today. Ship clearance progression, hazard level 5. Congratulations, you have reached one of the major milestones in Shipbreaker career. progression. Gaining access to the #1 cause of death in Shipbreaker profession, pressurization. This will be a fun thing for next week. Some ships we encountered may or may not be pressurized or contain pressure pockets. Breaching these spaces incorrectly can cause an explosive decompression, which can cause damage to valuable salvage and Lynx equipment. To decompress or depressurize properly, Lynx advises you use the standard atmospheric regulators located throughout the ship. Star 1. Lynx strictly prohibits shipbreakers intentionally using explosive decompression, so-called controlled decompression, to enact rapid salvage. Remember that your activities while in the salvage bay is monitored. Note that some ships may come with damaged atmospheric regulators, which does not allow them for authorized and safe decompression procedure. Basically, you may actually have to intentionally rapidly decompress. New hab poster. New ship access. Atlas Nomad. In the vast expanse between ports, the only person you have to depend on is yourself. Only one ship is built for life on the rails, the Atlas Nomad. Designed for the independent hauler. The Nomad spacious sleeper cabin is a home away from home, boasting every essential amenity. With 3 rugged quasar thrusters, ample cargo space, and a modular interior storage. The Nomad is truly the answer to long-distance, long-term hauling. Atlas, powerful, dependable, enduring. The foundation of a better world. Starleap Heavy Industries. Okay.
Hey, Cutter. You're gonna start getting pressurized shifts now. Lou and I will show you the ropes when you're ready.
Which will be... I don't want to go to the kitchen room, I just want to go to here. Take me to the window. I want to go to the window. Ah, it's on the employee terminal. There we go, the window. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. So we'll finish scavenging, or salvaging, let's use the correct term, the remainder of that ship next time. And then, once we've got that done, we'll start with a pressurized ship. Which are fun. They are quite right that pressurization is probably the most likely thing to trip a person up. It had done multiple times when I was playing it back in early access. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheerio.